Hello everybody, my name is Daniel Richardson and I'm the WCPW review guy. And has anybody actually ever stayed at the SmackDown Hotel? I'll bet the room service is just lousy. Anyways, and this is the unofficial WCPW Top 10. Now last week I mentioned that we're going to start doing, in addition to the Top 10, we'll start announcing the top woman wrestler of WCPW. And this week, for our second week in a row, it's Nixon Newell. So congratulations, Nixon. Unofficially, you are the top woman in WCPW. Once the women's division starts beefing up a little bit, we'll actually get a little more fluctuation in there. But hey, it is what it is, and we're rolling on. Alright, so last week, I got a ridiculous amount of, and I won't mean like, for me it's a ridiculous amount. It was like 4 or 5 different people that was hitting me up, private messaging me and everything. Want to know more about, how do I decide the top 10? And of course I always kind of vaguely tell you guys, but they're like, how is so-and-so not in the top 10, but this person is, and it's just, I think I got a comment below last week as well, so you know what? This week, I'm going to go ahead and open that curtain up, and I'm going to explain it to you guys. Now this is the last time I will explain anything like this. So in the future, when there's a ridiculous entrant in the top 10, or whatever the case may be, and I am asked like, Daniel, why? I'll be like, hey, refer back to the August 20th edition of the top 10. So here we go. This is how I do it. This is how I decide, my top 10s. All right. So in the very beginning, the very first episode, there was 9 competitors. All right, 9 competitors. Now, yes, they have already signed people at that point, and they was announcing bigger names as time went on. Either way, though, I went with the people who actually competed. So, boom, that first 9 was just lucky enough to be on the list first. So, what I did was, that first top 10, is I had a top 10. I went ahead and threw Rampage on there as well because, A, you needed 10. I knew he was a competitor, he was already #1 contender for the, world title, so that's how he got, that's the only time I ever kind of, bent the rule a little bit and made it top 10. But I took the first 9, and what I did was everybody who won, obviously, was on one side of the list, everybody lost on the other side. And then, basically, I just put them in ranking as order of, like, where they was placed on the card. So, your main event winner was the first one, then the second, down. And then the losers, the main event loser was here, and then down. And then there you go. That's how I decided. Now that was the master list, as I call it, and that's how I placed them there. Now that wasn't necessarily how I did the top 10, but that was just the master list, and I'll get to that in a second. So they're all on that list. Now what I do is in the weeks that follow, whenever there is a new batch of wrestlers that show up, I go ahead and I put them underneath that master list. Had 9 listed on there. I went ahead and threw the new guys underneath there because, unlike Pacitti, I don't just throw the guys at the top because they got star power. Nope, you work your way up. Now that master list, if you win a match, you go up the list. Okay, you take, you drop people down or whatever the case may be. That's how a ranking system works. So as weeks came on, I kept using that master list. So when like Aaron Stevens and Will Ospreay show up, guess what? They're at the bottom. But at that point, they showed up where there's like already 20 or so people on the list. So yeah, they're a little lower than people would expect. Okay, so that's the master list. Now, let's put that list to the side for a second. So then what I do is I go ahead and make 3 different categories to rank the wrestlers in. First category, number of wins, because goddamn it, it's a sport, and isn't that the most important thing? Wins. So that first list, I go ahead and rank the wins. So let's just hypothetically, you got like 2 wrestlers that have maybe 3 wins. They're the highest ones. Obviously, there's a tie there. So how do I decide the tie? I go to my master list. Who's ranked higher? Boom. That guy goes up top first, and then the next guy there. And you go on. Then, there could be 3 or 4 people with 2 wins. Same thing. Who gets ranked first? Consult the master list. Who's ranked higher there? Boom. They go right there. And I go all the way down. Yes, I have a lot of free time on my hands. So anyway, so I go ahead and that's how I do the winners list first. Okay. So, number of wins, first category. Second category is win-loss record. Now this is how Fat Ligero keeps sneaking back in. Like, this is the crazy loophole that he keeps getting back in. Because it's a very intricate, formula I've came up with. But, okay. So, you take your win-loss record. So, who has 100%, wins? They go up top, obviously. Now, as of last week, there were several more. In addition to Fat Ligero, you also had Will Ospreay, Aaron Stevens, Liam Slater, and Johnny Moss. And Grado were also, all undefeated. But those guys all came in on the second series. You see, Fat Ligero, even though he's being knocked down that list because people keep winning, they're taking his spot, guess what? He's still higher than the people who just came in. So when I rank that second column, guess what? Fat Ligero's top. I'm sorry, it's unfair. If you have a problem with it, you gotta talk to Chidi, our general manager, and maybe he can book him in a match and we can get him a loss. And then guess what? They'll drop his stock pretty low. Or he'll win and he'll stay up number one for fucking ever, and I'll love it. Anyway, so I rank them, and same thing. If there's any ties, I consult the master list. That's the tiebreaker when I'm doing the category. So boom, there's that. Move that side. Third list is, I guess, called the points list. Basically, you win a match, you get a point kind of thing. But then, of course, I award points for other factors, including if you're, once again, a triple threat elimination match, well, guess what? You get more points because obviously you're facing more opponents. Tag matches, you get more points because you're fighting multiple opponents or whatever. If it's a title match, whether if you're winning the title, defending the title, guess what? You get extra points, as you should. So that's what the points column is. So, you have a good run, have, specialty matches, you get more points. So I rank those guys there. Once again, any ties is broken by the master list. So, bam. Got my three columns. Got my overall wins, win-loss, and the points. So now, I go ahead and average those three lists out. So, once I average them all out, I got them ranked. Any ties, okay, we got any ties from this part of it. What I do is I consult the first, or the three categories. And, say we got two guys that are fighting for fourth place, and I'm like, all right, so I got to break this tie. Who ranked the highest in any of the three categories, whether it's, overall wins, win-loss, or points? And, of course, whoever got the highest on any of those three over the other guy, he gets a spot. Now, in the case that there's a tie, like maybe somebody's ranked, third in overall wins, but the other guy was ranked third in points, and it's like, well, that's the highest either one of them got. They're both at 3. I consult, that's right, the master list. So that's how I do it. And then, boom, I take the top 10 and I present to you guys. That is it. Finally, the secret's revealed. That is how I come up with the top 10. Is it a perfect system? Obviously not, because Fat Ligero keeps getting in. However, you know what? It's legit. He won. That would be like, let's just say, hypothetically, I don't know, let's just say Ryback makes a one-off appearance. Now let's go a little higher profile. Let's say Goldberg. A lot of talk about him maybe coming back at SummerSlam. Let's just say he makes a one-off appearance, and but he don't say it's a one-off appearance. See, if they mention it's a one-night only thing, obviously they don't make the list. But he shows up, gets a match, beats somebody, and now he's off for a month or so, but he comes back later on. Guess what? That one win would still count, and he would still be undefeated, and that would mean something. Ligero, same way. Now there will at some point. I haven't figured this out yet, but there has to be some kind of inactivity clause in there somewhere. If a wrestler hasn't been on TV or on the YouTube for, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe 3 months is a good, inactive type, thing. 3 months, then guess what? You dropped off the list and you're gone. And if you come back, I bring you back, but then of course you start at the bottom. It seems like a fair thing to do. I don't know. If you have any thoughts about that, hey, let me know. But so, without any further ado, let's do this. Let's jump to the top 10. And at number 10, he's back. He's back. The man behind the mask. There's a reference for you. Anyways, yes, he's been absent from the top 10, but he's back at number 10. The fake El Ligero. Just don't throw any more through it. Yes, he's back on. I'm not gonna lie. 10 through 5, none of them competed this past week on Loaded. But hey, they staying afloat from one way or another. But yeah, so there you go. 10, the fake El Ligero. At number 9, for a second week in a row, Liam Slater. So 8 dropped the spot from last week, and that is Lucas Archer. Number 7 dropped the spot from last week as well, Joe Hendry. Number 6, once again, don't know how this happened. I ran the numbers 3 times to make sure. Just one of those freak things. And once again, everybody else has fought too, and it is shifting the list around a little bit. However, up 2 spots from last week, That's right. Number 6, Johnny Moss. Congratulations, bro. You're up number 6. Number 5 for a second week in a row is Alex Gracie. All right, so number 4, down one spot from last week, the Iron Man, Joe Coffey. And yeah, this past week he has shot at the world title, which he totally deserved, because on this, the unofficial top 10, he's been in the top 3 now for like over a month, like straight, riding it out. So glad to see he finally got a title match. Unfortunately, he did not win it. He probably has to blame Primate for that one. However, it dropped him down, but still in top 5, so not bad, bro. Number 3, up a spot from last week, Joseph Connors. He won a pre-show match against Prince Amin. However, he did lose a main show match against El Ligero, but it balanced him out. And then, of course, when Coffey lost, it dropped him one, pushed him up. So there you go, Joseph Connors, number 3. At number 2 for a 3rd week in a row, the real El Ligero. And of course, we just mentioned he had his match against Joseph Connors, and he's doing great for himself right now. So El Ligero's doing good. Although he hasn't won all of his matches, he's yet to be pinned or tap out yet. So that's a thing right there, and that's going to probably keep him up there pretty high for a while. And number 1, it should be no surprise number 1 is for a 3rd week in a row, he is the WCPW World Champion, Big Damo. That's right, he successfully defended the title and successfully retained his top spot on top of the mountain. So there you go, guys. That is top 10. So congratulations, Big Damo. Unofficially, you are the number 1 guy in WCPW. And of course, with that title, it pretty much makes it official. So there you guys go. Do you guys agree with the list? Do you disagree with the list? Either way, let me know down in the comments section below. I would appreciate it. And tune in tomorrow. I'll be doing the weekly recap, where I talk about all the big news and announcements, in the world of WCPW. A show that Jim Cornette has actually retweeted on Twitter. I'll brag about this for a long time, because that was fucking awesome. So yeah, see what the big deal's about. He's retweeting it, so you should check it out. So guys, share and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to show this video. Sorry, but why are you standing right there? I'm unpredictable here. This is all off script. You guys. Show this video some thumb and love, and yeah, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter at WCPW Review Guy 1. Guys, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, till next time.